Hello everyone, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're here in Bujumbura at Melchior Ndadaye International Airport, Bujumbura, Burundi, and we're going to be flying to Entebbe International Airport in Entebbe, Uganda, near the capital of, and I don't know why it's slipping off the top of my head now. What's the capital of Kampala? So Entebbe serves Kampala, which is the capital. Entebbe is just a outlying village, but that's where the airport is, and that's the name of the airport. We're gonna be flying the Airbus A330-300 from Project Megapack using the Brussels Airlines livery created by Big Myth. This flight is Brussels Airlines 455, and yeah, that's all looks like I got for you right there. I am using the compatibility mod so that FlyByWire's A32NX will be able to use that stuff in the cockpit. So get the Project Megapack A330, FlyByWire A32NX A320 mod, and then there's a compatibility mod. Link below for that. We'll be using PackX today. I wanted to use self-loading cargo, but since we only have stairs, that could cause some trouble. And I'm hoping that comes out, the update for that comes out really soon. So let's get into the plane here. Trying to get all my stuff that I need set up. All right. We'll get in here. It's about 7:30 in the morning here in Bujumbura. A beautiful day. Much different than the flight I just did and crashed in up in Rwanda, Uganda area. A lot of thunderstorms up there. So we'll do our pre-flight checks, making sure the parking brake is set, flaps and ground spoilers are up and retracted. Engines are in the off position. Ignition is in normal. At this point I can just turn on, get these lights already brightened before I even turn anything on. I don't think there's a problem with that. If anyone knows if there's a problem with that, you can let me know. That way we don't have to break our flow of our setup, turning up the brightness on all this stuff. Not sure why the flat wipers, I can't use wipers, but almost everything else can still click. Just like on the A32NX. You do need the A32NX, a stable version for that. We're gonna turn on our batteries. Make sure our co-pilot doesn't ask for pushback before we're ready. We can turn on external power, we have that available. Turn on our strobe lights. Oh, that's seatbelt lights, sorry. Strobe lights to auto. Get our navigation 1, 2, 3. Again, I'm going to give you a look at what we're doing up above. We go up here, we do our APU fire test. And actually at this point, let's get the APU going as well, just so we don't forget it and we have to wait. And here is where I want to start PackX. We do have a... What did I just do? What was that? Alright. Start flight, career mode. So we are, this is Brussels Airlines, call sign B-line. So we are Bell 455, flight number, cruise altitude 39,000. I don't even know if we're gonna get up there and then come down right away. Flight time is gonna be, I'm gonna put an hour, but we'll probably get there sooner. And we are just under the max here for what PackX has for their A330 aircraft. So 265 passengers. We're gonna put an in-flight entertainment system. We're gonna do snacks and drinks because I don't think this flight's long enough And they might not even do the snacks and drinks. We do have our Brussels Airlines safety. And we do have the boarding music as well. There we go. Okay, APU did something weird there. Fuel low. What is going on with the APU here? Fuel low. Maybe I need to have the fuel switches on already. See, I'm getting a fault there. Okay. Let me see what do I do in that. Well, we'll save that for later and see if maybe it's a fuel issue. Seatbelt signs, not yet on. No smoking and emergency are armed. And let's get our IFR clearance.
Bujumbura Tower B-line 455, heavy ready to copy IFR clearance to Entebbe.
B-line 455 heavy is cleared to Entebbe Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 17 climb and maintain 9,000 feet. Departure frequency is 128.1 squawk 4615.
B-line 455 heavy cleared to Entebbe Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 17 climb and maintain 9,000 feet. Departure on 128.1 squawk 4615.
B-line 455 heavy raisback is correct. Contact ground on 118.1 when ready to taxi.
All right. Let's get on our computer. There we go. AOC menu. Get our data across there. And actually go over here. We want to get our fuel coming in. Oh, we don't have. Never mind. I'm gonna say we're not in the A330-300 with the little board computer there. So we're gonna go in here, load our fuel. You see, just got the fuel on there. Passenger weight's already in, 28,800 kilos. Now we can go to our initial page. Cost index, well, first our alternate. Our alternate is going to be Hotel Kilo Echo Lima. Cost index is 3030. And cruising is going to be flight level 390, 39,000 feet today. I'm not sure to where to get this information on the flight list and what you put in here. Oh, that's the climb wind. Oh, okay, I see. Cruise wind. We'll do that on a longer flight. I don't wanna. It's such a short flight. I don't want to spend time. But when we do a longer one, I'm gonna try to go into that and see how that one works. Putting more information into the flight computer like that. We're just going to stick with what we do usually. Go to performance page 2, 0 fuel weight, 0 center of gravity. Fuel planning, it's always an error. But we need 14. We'll put 14.2 into the computer. Alright, radial navigation page. Don't need to do anything there. Performance page. We're going to have flaps 1. Flex takeoff temperature. I usually do... Let's do 64. Anywhere between like 50 and 70 is if you want to put that in. You don't have to put this in. There is a calculator for the A320. I don't know if... That's probably not going to match up with the A330 though, so... I'm not going to play with that. Get our V1, V rotate, and our V2 speeds. Transition altitude, I believe, if I'm remembering, was like... Wasn't it like 2,500 or something? Let's do an approach. Look at an approach chart here. Oh, 9,500. I knew it was something 500. That's where we have to switch our to standard for the barometer. Let's go to a flight plan. Flight plan today, not terribly long, a little bit longer than our recent flights. Yeah, it looks like everything's direct. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I'm putting it up for you guys on the overlay. You can see what we have. And here we go. First we have Kilo November Mike. That's a VOR. Probably Kigali, I think. I'm not sure. Then we're doing Alsar, Alpha Lima Sierra Alpha Romeo.
Crew, I'd like to welcome you aboard our flight. As you find the seat, be sure to place your larger carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you.
Then
If you have trouble
Octex,
finding a location for any of your carry-on items,
Oscar
please
Kilo
use the flight attendant call button
Tango
over the
Echo
seat.
X-ray.
Someone will assist you. After you put your carry-on
Mandy,
items in the overhead bin and it is full, make sure you close it as a courtesy to
Mike
other
Alpha
passengers.
November
Also, be sure that the
Delta
aisle is
Yankee.
clear and sit down so that way other passengers can get by you. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please review the exit seating responsibilities in the safety card provided for you. Please make sure that
No,
you
I
are
don't think this is
able
going to
and
work. I
willing
think we're going to need to go into
If you're
the...
not, please let a flight attendant know
See
so
if
that way
that
you
does
can
it.
be reseated.
Oh, it does.
You are free to use your portable electronic devices during the
I think it's just a
boarding
waypoint.
process. We ask
Yeah,
that
it's just a
larger
waypoint.
electronic devices are
So
stowed
all
once you
waypoints
depart.
today.
Thank you and welcome aboard.
It kind of looks like an airway. And guess some. Golf Echo Sierra Echo Mike. Then Ibcud. India Bravo Kilo Uniform Delta. And probably UTAS Uniform Tango Sierra Alpha Sierra. Insert. And we're taking off from runway... What did I put there? Runway 17, right? I had it in there. I think it was runway 17. We'll double check just to make sure. Runway 17. I think we only have two choices anyway. Runway 17. No SIDS. We'll insert. Go up here. Go to plan. And we're just looking for any disconnects. That looks exactly what we need. We can zoom out and probably see the whole thing too. Looks pretty good. And that's our flight computer. Let's put our predicted wind shear and lock our cockpit door. Make sure the seatbelt signs are on. We do have the fuel on board. See how the boarding status is going.
Boarding going back there?
We're still boarding. Let us know if you need anything.
Alright, we need to get the ATIS Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get that though. From here, and we don't have flight computer. Or we can actually get it right here. Our menu, ATSU, AOC, and we'll do the weather request. That'll give us the MEDAR. Addis usually has a few more things like the which runways and everything. We already heard that earlier. Oh, no, we didn't hear that earlier. That was my last flight. Oh, I already sent it. Received messages. Nothing yet. We'll see a little received message. Well, while we're waiting for that, I did have my runway heading, but it went away with the flight directors on. And we're going to try turn our fuel pumps on. Crew supply, clearing white lights, no white lights. We do have the fault there. Let's try to get the APU going. Yeah, maybe I need to have the fuel pumps on now, and that was something I don't remember having to have to do. But it looks like, yeah, it looks like it's coming now. No messages. We do have messages actually though. And we do have all of our information. That's great. I just printed it off. Oh, the printer doesn't work. That's right. So we are looking for, right now we're just looking for our QNH of 1013. And that's what it is. Yeah, I'm not sure why we're not getting, it's all standard today for some reason. Is 1017 up there in Uganda though. All right. Our navigation lights. And we do have APU available. We check our electrical page just to make sure APU is available. Once we turn off external power, that will switch to APU, 51%. All right, we are ready for pushback in 3 minutes. Let's see if we can expedite the boarding a little bit.
If we can finish the boarding process a bit sooner.
We'll see what we can do. No promises. Your time now. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 455. Our flight time will be roughly 1 hour. Please note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seatbacks must be in the full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew secure doors for departure.
All right, passengers are all on board. We can, well, let's disconnect, get rid of that power truck. Bring the tug in. We're going to runway 17, just make sure which direction I need to go. And we're gonna come out here and go to our right. So we're gonna back up, just like that. Using pushback helper, and pushback helper you can change the speed of the tug. It can go faster or slower. I slowed it down a little bit because usually I can't get my engine started before it's already got me in position. Then I'm blocking everything, waiting to get my engines going. That's a cool shot right there. So let's turn off the parking brake and begin our reverse. And start our engine. So starting engine 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen for an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
Freedom and clear blue skies. It's no wonder birds always fly happy. And after these safety instructions, you will too. We totally understand that you're very attached to your lovely hand baggage, but please put it under the seat in front of you or stow it in the overhead bins. If you're sitting in the front row or next to an emergency exit, you have a little bit more room to wiggle your toes, but you can only store your items in the overhead bins. Please be careful when you open them though. We're not flying into space, you know, so gravity will still apply. Most electronic devices can be used on board. You'll find all the information about this in our in-flight magazine in the seat pocket in front of you. Oh, and we know you're really funny when you're drunk, but thank you. We already have entertainment systems on board. And remember that consuming your own alcoholic drinks is not allowed. During takeoff and landing,
Starting engine 1.
You can fool around as much as you want, just as long as your seatbelt is fastened low and tight around your waist. To fasten it, insert the metal tip into the buckle. To unfasten it, lift the flap. It's not rocket science. Your seatbelt should be fastened while the fasten seatbelt sign is Masks will drop down from the ceiling. Pull a mask towards you and position it over your nose and mouth. Place the elastic band around your head and adjust if necessary. Remember to secure your own mask before assisting children or other passengers. And now that everyone looks like, well, a duck, we can all breathe normally again. We Belgians are famous for our fashion design. Unfortunately, the yellow life jackets are not designed for the catwalk. In economy class, you'll find the life jacket under your seat. In business class, in the double seat, the life jacket is located under the seats. In a single seat, it's on the right of the seat. So should you want to use it, take the life jacket out of the bag, piece it over your head, and tighten the strap around your waist. Wait until you're out of the bag. If you need more air inside your life jacket, blow into the rubber tube.
Alright, turn off our master bleed or APU. We got our flaps. Pro window heat is auto. Auto brake set to max. Runway turn off lights and taxi lights.
Don't worry, there's a safety card in the seat pocket in front of you. Please read it carefully, especially if you're seated next to one of the emergency exits. Okay, we're almost ready to fly now. Please relax, straighten your feathers, make sure that your seat's in the upright position and your table's fallen away. Thank you for listening to me. I had a lot of fun, but rest assured, we take your safety very seriously. Enjoy your flight.
Short runway 17 by a taxiway line 455 heavy.
Alright, let's taxi into position. Alright, we are lined up and in position. We have our clearance. Turn on our landing lights. Take off light. And we are ready to go. 40%. Release. Takeoff speed. B1. Positive rate. Gear up. Oops. Forgot to set our TCAS, our transponder. Pull back to level climb. And we'll go to autopilot. Not the greatest sound to listen to. I wish there was an easy way where I didn't have to like go to the settings menu to change the volume for, because this plane is so loud I can't hear ATC. We're just about at our transition altitude, so once we get to 9,500, we'll switch to standard. Our QNH is already standard anyway. Oops. There we go. And we're at 10,000 feet, so turn off our landing lights. Turn our air conditioning back on. bring over the navigraph, show you our route. Yeah, that's the VOR is for Kigali. And then we're going to go from Kigali up to Lake Victoria, and once we get to Kalangala, we'll kind of turn into, looks like kind of a star situation, but getting lined up. I believe the runway runs, yeah, it runs that direction. So hopefully they give us a good approach. Alright, they're kind of blocking us here at 13,000.
Request flight level 230. Beeline 455 heavy climb and maintain flight level 190. Expect flight level 230. Climb and maintain flight level 190. Expect flight level 230. Beeline 455 heavy.
Trying to get to our cruising altitude. The Microsoft ATC doesn't always like to do it. I am connected to VATSIM, but there's no controllers or anything in this area of the world. Once we start flying in Europe a little bit more, and America, we'll tend to run into more places with controllers. South America even has a lot more VATSIM activity. We'll get some real ATC interaction. Some of the people are actually real-life ATC people, are in training for controlling. And obviously you have real pilots who are simulating and practicing their stuff on there as well. So it's a little daunting to jump into that, though.
Climb and maintain flight level 190. Expect flight level 390. Beeline 455 heavy. Climb and maintain flight level 250. Beeline 455 heavy. Beeline 455 heavy contact Kigali center on 125.3. Going to 125.3. Beeline 455 heavy. Kigali center Beeline 455 heavy. It's passing flight level 205, climbing flight level 250.
Yeah, this is a dual stream, so I'm streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So if you're coming in on Facebook, thanks for watching. Consider giving a star or definitely a follow. I'm trying to get to at least 20 followers here this week. And on YouTube, as always, if you like the video, please give it a like, comment below, comment in the live chat. And if you aren't already subscribed, subscribe for more videos. I'm going to be mixing in some VFR flights as well. Last live stream to start this morning was a VFR flight up to the Gorilla National Park on the border with Uganda and Rwanda, and then all the volcanoes along the border there, along the Ugandan Rwandan border, and then the Rwandan Democratic Republic of Congo border. Ended up crashing though because the weather was really bad and I wasn't able to just maintain any speed at that altitude in the Beechcraft that we were flying. So we weren't able to get over to Goma International Airport and see the volcano that recently erupted. I did fly over it yesterday, and Microsoft Flight Simulator isn't simulating the eruption and lava flow, which has caused a lot of destruction and death in Goma, and damage also to the airport there. I was just looking into some of the upcoming airliners that are being added for payware, and one I was interested in is the Embraers, because some of these flights are actually flown with Embraers. There's a lot of I do have the CRJ from Aerosoft, but they don't fly a lot of CRJs over here. It's more Embraers, and that'd be a nice plane to have. There actually is one out from Virtual Call, but it's kind of a low quality. It's basically a port. It looks like it's almost a port over from Microsoft, from Flight Simulator X from 2004. Jagged textures aren't lined up. Like even the flight computer, I think, says it's an A330, A320 flight computer. It's just pulling the assets directly from Flight Simulator. In their release for releasing it, I think they're charging just under $30 for a package of 3 models of that plane, the Embraer, like 170, 175, and 175 with winglets, extended winglets. And they said it's like, oh, this is not a study level craft. What do you expect for $30? We're just trying to make something affordable, and it's literally just a port over from Microsoft Flight Simulator. And that's what I'm flying right now. This A330 is nothing. You can tell the textures are not up to the level of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, but it is what it is. It's free. It's a port over. And someone did a really great job of making compatibility so we can get the fly-by-wire cockpit in there. And it does what it needs to do. People have done a sound pack, but it's free. And so if I'm going to get something that's free, yeah, I expect it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to have 100% accuracy or whatever. When I flew the flight with the ATR-72, that one didn't have accuracy at all. The cockpit was a CR or the CJ4 or whatever, the citation. And it didn't really work that well either. But if I'm paying anything for an airplane, I don't care if it's $20-$30. It's like I think a lot of these planes are overpriced anyway when they're charging $100 for a plane. But PMDG, who's one of those companies that does charge $100, $80-$90 for a package of planes, those planes are worth it. I mean, they're study level. There's a lot of extra animations. If you get the cargo version, the nose of the plane opens up and cargo gets loaded in there. So you're getting what you're paying for, actually. But I think a $20, $30 plane should be, I don't need study level, but it should be accurate. Maybe, not every single dial and switch, every single circuit on the circuit breaker works, maybe, but, definitely should be. The model should be up to standards. The flight, what do you call it? The flight model should be decent. But there's been a number of those coming out. I know the 737 MAX that's out right now is just bits and pieces taken from the premium version of Microsoft Flight Simulator, the 787 Dreamliner. So just to be able to use this $20, $30 737 MAX, which is not even worth that, you also need to have the premium version of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I'm sorry, you should never have to have the premium version of Flight Simulator to use a payware aircraft. So there's that. I think the Captain Sims 77, the 777 that came out, was a kind of a step down to his usual quality, that company's usual quality. So a lot of companies right now they're flooding the market with airliners people are desperate to get their hands on and are willing to pay $30 and don't know any better what they're actually getting and don't realize that it's like, oh yeah, what you're flying there isn't good simulation of that plane, and so it's not worth the money you even paid for it. Alright, we're making our turn now. We've reached our first waypoint, Kigali, the VOR. Actually, we got a little hole there, but we're not going to be able to see See maybe a little bit of Kigali, the Kigali area. We're over Rwanda. You can see the heavy cloud cover. There are some holes. So on our VFR flight, we did kind of run into some of those empty areas, but most of it was pretty cloudy, sporadic rain. Once we got near the volcanoes, it was full-on thunderstorm, full-on rain, and didn't make for a very enjoyable VFR flight. I am planning this weekend, I think probably Sunday. Sunday morning I'll start, I'm gonna do a flight from, I'm still debating which way I'm gonna do it, if I'm gonna do UPS Flight 1 or UPS Flight 2, but it's gonna be between Hong Kong and Cologne, Germany, and that's the flight from Hong Kong to Germany is UPS 1. The flight from Germany to Hong Kong is UPS 2. It's flown in a 747-8F, the cargo version. And I do have the cargo livery for UPS, complete with no windows. I see some of those cargo liveries where they still have all the windows, and it's like, well, so you put the word cargo on it. That's not really what you want when you're doing that. But I do have a good UPS cargo livery. I have tested out the 747. I also tested out using Salty's mod. I'm really excited to get in there. It's about an 11-hour flight, so that stream will probably be a 12-hour stream. So I'll get it started, 7, 8 in the morning, hopefully get off the ground, set the autopilot, and hopefully I'll be jumping in and out, available for chat, answer questions, whatever. But yeah, that's my plan, is to do a long flight on Sunday, and then scatter around in here. I think the next VFR flight I want to do a VFR flight maybe around Wisconsin, where I live. That'd be fun. Let me know in the chat, let me know in the comments where you'd like to see some flights, specifically VFR flights, but also other flights you'd like to see in the future. My main goal is obviously to get as many of these world tour flights in, because I want to get everywhere in the world, and they kind of cover going to some of these places that we'd like to see. And as I get more comfortable and take the plunge into VATSIM, we'll be doing some VATSIM flights that are going to be more in America or in Europe, where VATSIM is functioning, whenever I decide to go live. So there'll be some different stuff coming. Like I said, this morning we had our first VFR flight that was requested, and it didn't go perfectly well, so we might do that one again. Definitely will try to do that one again in better weather. Alright, we got some of the weather's clearing up. That's kind of weird that I can come completely out of cockpit. There we go. We'll go right there. We'll put the camera. We're still in the plane, but we can see where we're going. What lakes do we got here? Yeah, we're quickly coming up on the border with Tanzania. We're going to cross, or have two waypoints. Once we hit waypoint Alsar, that's the border between Rwanda and Tanzania, and then Octex, the next waypoint, is the border between Uganda and Tanzania. I think that is going to be Lake. Let's see, let's go outside the plane. We better look at it. Yeah, my flight tracker is saying I'm a slightly different place, it looks like. Like I'm on the right of this lake. But this is, we got Lake Mahindi and Lake Rawanyakazinga. I think those are right there. Those lakes. Actually, we might have. Actually, that lake, Rara, can't even say it. That's back there. The Rarazinga. Those two lakes. We're already into Tanzania now. You can see quite a different landscape. Before we get too late into the flight, I'm going to put in our approach data. I'm going to have to kind of jump back and forth. Actually, I can write it down. What I should do. Wish the printer worked in this one. So wind is 170 at 9 knots.
Beeline 455 heavy descent and maintain flight level 2900.
Descend and maintain flight level 290 beeline 455 heavy.
Are you descending now? Our temperature is 24 degrees, 19 degree dew point, and QNH is at 1017. Back to our performance page. Temperature 24. Wind 170 degrees at 9 knots. For our let's see, what do I want? I want my nav graphs. That's what I need. We go over to Entebbe, pull up an approach, see what we got. Transition altitude is 7,000 feet. And then this is going to be our minimums, which I'll show you right here. You can see on this chart, this is for the VOR, runway 17. Let's do the runway 35. I think they might give us 17, but we are coming in the direction of 35, and it'd be nice to get that. Our minimums, right there, 4,100. And double check, straight in landing, 4,100 feet. That's 355 feet above the runway. See, our runway elevation is 3,745 feet. So our minimum's probably gonna be 4,100, so we'll put that in right now, and we can adjust that once we're for sure on what they're gonna give us for the runway. Passengers are getting some snacks and drinks for a light breakfast. Not enough time. I wonder if they could have done a breakfast meal service. Probably could have, but I turned it off. I already see our flight. Our flight stage is descent. I'm going to turn the seatbelt sign back on. We are on descent.
on the fastest seatbelt time. Please adhere to the fasten your seatbelt.
Going to 128.5 feline 455 heavy.
Let me see our plane. There's a few empty seats, just 5 empty seats, 6 empty seats.
Is passing flight level 300, descending flight level.
And again, we have our localized languages, even though quite a few of these languages up here. We got a Bueller, a Blessing Baka, Alchemy. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, I can't wait until self-loading cargo gets to that point, at least with the names. Self-loading cargo, I think, is ahead in other places, and that's one guy working on it. Still trying to deal with a few more things on there. All right, we're descending to 21,000 feet. And looking at the chart for the VOR, we need to be at 7,700 feet, 14 miles out from the VOR. That's going to be our, once we're on course for the landing. And looking at what we're doing, just the way our, hopefully they give us something before we get to Gesem, because once we get to Gesem, we're basically coming in. We're lining up to do runway 35. So if they want us to go runway 17, it'd be nice to know earlier than later. Yeah, the flight computer, the flight plan we have almost looks like it's giving us the star for Mandy 1C, 1 Charlie. Like I said, we'll see what ATC gives us. Lake Victoria. Okay, so they are giving us 17.
Expect VOR DND runway 17 approach via
Okay, let's do what I usually say to do. Set your heading so that the plane doesn't start going in circles until you know you have everything set. So VOR 17 via UVDEC. We're going to insert. We're going to check the plan here. Do some crazy stuff there. I think I'm going to jump over to my nav graphs first, figure out what I can take out. Or approach, VOR. Oops. Don't put that into the flight plan. Actually, that was our flight plan was runway 17. Via UVDEC. Cleared to UVDEC, so we're going to get rid of UTSAS and IBCUD. We'll probably go from YSM if we wanted. Go into the flight computer and we're going to get rid of IBCUD. And UTAS. I want to get rid of UTAS also. Going to go to and we'll get rid of GSM as well. We'll take a more of a beeline point. Clear GSM, insert. UVDEC is our next point. Set and maintain 10,000. Once we get to 10,000, we'll turn on our landing lights. So we need to be at 7,700 feet at 13 miles out from the VOR. VOR, let's put that information in. Computer. VOR is 117.5. Yep, course. What is that? Looks like 170. Right, our minimum is 4,280 on this end of the runway. $4,280. Deck, we need to be at flight level 100, which we are. Max speed is 230 knots. Right there. And from Deck, we're going to take a 94 degrees to 13 miles. Then we're going to do an arc to 170. This will probably be all in the computer, hopefully, and if not, we will have to do it manually. Sometimes the computer just skips a lot of points and jumps us all the way to the runway. We're gonna get slowed down to 230. From our spoilers. We're gonna check our descent checklist, barometric reference. Actually, we can go right here and put it in so that when we need to switch, we'll have a good idea what it should be, about 30.0203. ATC will give us that once we get to 7,500 or 7,000, which is our transition altitude. Now we got our landing lights on, seatbelt sights on. Our range is already reduced on our display. To actually turn it up just to see our path. Yeah, once we intercept, well, that's for the ILS. Yeah, the checklist I have doesn't really have anything for VOR. But looks like we have everything we need set up to get in. We have our VOR input. We'll switch to the Rose VOR and we'll try to line up with that blue arrow that will guide us in. And I think on the VOR though we have to put in that 3-degree descent glide slope. We're starting to get the random lightning, even though there's really not enough clouds for a thunderstorm. So the problem with Flight Simulator, it went from having no lightning, no thunderstorms when it first came out to now it's a little overkill. Alright, once we get to Uvdek, we want to go 94 degrees to our next point. Hopefully, the flight computer will just go to that point, which is Delta 311 Mike. Good, they got us going. It's going to be 94 degrees. And it should put us on sort of a 13 nautical mile mark. And you'll see the distance right there, we're 21. Once we get to this point, we should be 13 and maintain the 13 away from the VOR.
119.1 B line 45, five heavy. Entebbe approach V line 455 heavy, 10,100 feet.
Beeline 455 heavy, Entebbe approach QNH, tree 0.0 tree, continue to D311M as planned.
Hope they clear us to 7,700. Yeah, so the VOR is, I'm not actually sure, but it's like a radar station, or, you're bouncing off signals from it. And so you have your distance, and you'll have obviously you can have a circle distance from it.
Descend and maintain 7,000.
So we're going to maintain a 13-mile arc until we get to the point where we need to turn on our final course, which is going to be 170. Again, this could all be done manually as well. We do have the flight computer doing it for the most part. If you go back a couple flights ago, last few flights, I have had the situation where I've had to do it all manually because the computer started doing some crazy things going where it shouldn't have been going. Hopefully we won't need to do a go-around. If I read my charts properly. go flaps 1.
Beeline 455 heavy, you are 14 miles northwest of Entebbe. Contact Entebbe Tower on 118.11 inbound.
The airport's right there.
1 Beeline 455 heavy.
Can't really tell yet.
Entebbe Tower Beeline 455 heavy 14 miles.
Maybe it's actually right over there.
Airport DND runway
Once we
17.
turn, I'll have a good idea. You'll be able to see the runway. We'll be right on top of it almost. All right. By 6.2 miles out, we got to be down to 5,800 feet. And then from there, we'll take a 3-degree descent. See our blue arrows lined up. We're a little to the left right now. Should start seeing the runway. There it is. You can see we're a little bit to the left, and so the plane should adjust, get us back over. Our landing speed is going to be at full flaps, or our landing speed should be about, I want to say 128 is what we're supposed to land at, if I'm reading that right. So at least in the Boeing, you wanted to land, you still have about 133 knots as you were coming in, and then cut back. The Airbus is slightly different, so that's why I have some harder landings from time to time. The plane should be adjusting and getting that arrow lined up. So we're just going to leave the autopilot on until we get a little bit closer.
$2,500.
And I'm going to take manual control now. We got to be careful. We want to keep our speeds. Remember, we want to be about 133. Cabin check. Hear the buzzing. Landing gear down. And we're at 6.2, so we can start our 3-degree descent. Landing gears are down, right? I was hearing some weird clicking.
1,000.
I feel like I was going at 3 degrees. Maybe this is... Where's 3 degrees? Maybe not down below the horizon. I think we're a little bit too low now. Visually, it doesn't seem right. Actually, 3 degrees is probably right here. You want, it's positive 3 degrees. Get a little bit more. Engine power. You can see we have 4 red lights. That means we're too low. We'll deploy our flaps full. Start cutting back and go to that 3-degree. Once we get to white.
500. 500.
Always got to watch that speed, otherwise you're come plummeting out of the sky. Okay, it's saying we're a little to the right. Quite a bit to the right, actually. Now we're a little high.
Retard.
Well, we're floating.
10. 5.
That was a weird sound. Reversers. Auto brake. Already go down to that taxiway down there, so pretty good. Pull back on the reversers. Before we get to about 20 knots, we want to turn off the auto brake as well. We're just going to roll out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 9:59 a.m. and it's currently about 23 degrees Celsius. Now
For TCAS, ATC. Okay, it looks like it's not going to give us any parking options. We'll find our own way. This is a handcrafted airport. Doesn't seem like it over here, really, the runways and stuff. We're on taxiway Bravo. We're going to be headed to Terminal 1. The control tower and the radar and all that. Not sure what that is. Might be a light, actually. Really tall light. Might be a plane. Looks like lights for the terminal. Alright, turn off our predicted wind shear and our weather radar. Maybe we never turned our weather radar on. Yeah, we never turned the weather radar on. APU is available. You can see the ground marking Entebbe on our right. And really cool terminal. Of course, there's always a vehicle driving at us. We're coming in. We'll go to gate 6. No marshaller today. Alright, set our parking brake, turn off taxi lights, turn on the APU. And turn off our engines. Actually get external power connected as well. And that's the end of the flight. 53 minutes, 40 seconds. Nice quick one. Engines are coming down. The jetway should be coming over. Jetway. This is what really annoys me, is that this is a handcrafted airport. Jetways don't work. Which makes no sense at all.
Entebbe ground, Beeline 455 Heavy, could you please send a ramp?
Beeline 455 Heavy, no ramp is available.
Well, there's a ramp right there. How is this not available, you know?
Entebbe ground, Beeline 455 Heavy, could you please send a ramp?
Beeline 455
There we go.
Heavy, a ramp is
I don't know why the jetways don't work at a handcrafted airport. That's kind of silly. All right, passengers already boarding. We can clear a few things here. Turn off our beacon light. Turn off the APU now. Crew oxygen supply. Our deers. Fuel pumps. Off the seatbelt lights. That's good for now. Let's jump over to Volanta, which is my tracking software. We can see flight. We're the 4th person to arrive in Entebbe. Actually, looks like a pretty good flight. No real issues. We didn't have the flight computer take us the wrong direction. That's exactly what the flight plan looks like. It's a little off. I don't remember it being this far off, but now it's like shifted for some reason like that. My graphics, though, on here are all broken. I'm going to need to uninstall, reinstall. It keeps doing that. Landing speed was actually right where we needed to be. Landing force, landing rate pretty good, 221. Flight time 54, block time 1 hour 7, distance 318, and fuel burn 3,290 kilos. So, good flight all around, I think.
How many more passengers do we have back there in the cabin?
We're still deboarding.
And while we're waiting for them to deboard, I'm going to pull up our world map. Let's look at the airport. Really nice airport, except for that the jetways don't work. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Alright, we're gonna jump over to our map, and we are currently obviously in Africa, ticking off our countries for our world tour, and today we have Uganda. There it is. Next flight will be Uganda up to South Sudan, then over to Nairobi, Kenya to set up for a flight to Central Africa, or Central African Republic. I just heard someone come on the radio. So that... No. That might have been in the safety or in the music. Alright, we'll end the Pac X flight here too. We don't have to wait for them to come off. Alright, satisfied 95%, landing rate, slightly ahead of schedule. I wish I didn't have that extra shot of rum. It seems like every flight there's someone that wishes they didn't have that extra shot of rum. Yeah, we were ahead by 20 minutes. We departed about 14 minutes early too. Alright, well, thanks for coming on this short flight up to Uganda. Whoops. Please like the video, comment below, share it, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And our next flight's going to be up to South Sudan. Another short flight. Might be taking a CRJ. We'll get that loaded in, and we'll fly that up there. Until then, keep the blue side up, and take care.